make sure your reasons of why are very strong. Not just, I want to make this plan because I want to make a lot of money. Newsflash, everybody wants to make money. 大家好, welcome to Polo Notes. So, in my last video, I was discussing what it's like to wake up and not want to do any work and how to get past that. So I was thinking, in that video, I talked a lot about setting a short goal. Everything was about setting a goal, but I didn't go into any detail into how I normally use goals in my everyday life. So I thought I would do a video on how I use goals to learn new skills or to study. For example, I am studying Chinese right now, so I'm going to use my Chinese as an example. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be able to make your own goals plan. Hopefully, that's the aim. Anyway, so I'm going to go through a few steps on how to actually make the plan. The first thing you should write on your goals plan is not actually what you want to do, but actually where you are in life right now. This is the closest I will get to writing a diary. So in here, I just want to talk about where I am in life, which will lead on to you writing out why you want to learn this particular skill or take on this particular plan. You go into as much detail as possible because in the latter part of this video, I'll go into more detail as to why you need to go into a lot of detail here. Make sure that you're putting in things like where you are in terms of your feelings, where you want to be, and also the main reason why you want to learn this particular skill or make this particular plan. Make sure your reasons of why are very strong. Not just, I want to make this plan because I want to make a lot of money. Newsflash, everybody wants to make money. Whatever it may be, it needs to have a strong sense of passion and want behind it. And the reason why is when you're going through the hard times and you're wondering whether this is the direction you want to go, those wants and those needs are going to be very valuable. If your need is only because I want to make a lot of money, newsflash, when you're not making a lot of money and then you're trying to still do this plan, it's hard for you to stick to it because you're already broke and skint and hungry. And then you just want to do something else. Whereas if you've got a deeper reason to it, you're more likely to stick to it. So make sure in that description that you do write as much detail as you can into why you're doing this, where you are, and what you actually want to do. So take your time in that area. It's your own personal thing. You're not showing it to anyone. Go with the flow in that area. With that out of the way, once you've done, the next part you want to focus on is the duration. Now, the rule of thumb for duration for me is not to plan or make a goal of anything over 6 months. Now, that doesn't mean that your bigger aim and bigger goal can't be a 10-year huge goal, but you're just doing it in what I call baby steps. You're doing it in parts. For example, I know I'm not going to speak Chinese fluently within 6 months. It's just not happening. Whoever has done, kudos to you, but that's just not me. I'm a slow learner in these areas, but I'm a consistent learner. So what I would advise is no more than 6 months. You can do short goals. You can do 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but no more than 6 months. Another reason, when it's 6 months, it seems like it's reachable. Like you can get to it. It's close, but it's also not too close to where you think this is never going to be done in this time. Now, a very important thing about setting duration or setting your time, you need an end date. I don't mean loosely writing, I'll have this done in 6 months. An end date, the 31st of August. 12 a.m. You need an end date because once you've got that end date, once it's down inside, you know there's an end spot to get this done. Whereas when you don't have an end spot, you tend to just let things roll out. Think of it like when you're in university, they always give you a deadline. And as it comes closer to that deadline, you tend to work harder. But you generally tend to get it done. Imagine in university, they didn't give you a deadline. I guarantee you probably wouldn't get it done. Or if it did, it would probably take you double or triple the time. So in setting the duration, you have to set an end date. Even your start date isn't as important as your end date, but start date works just as well as an end date. When you say, I'm going to start this next week, you've written it down. It's on your whiteboard. If you've not got a whiteboard, you should do because it's really useful. Anyway, going off tangent. You can set everything from that start date. As soon as it begins, boom, you're ready to go. And if you don't start on that date, that guilt's going to kick in. Your conscience is going to be telling you what is going on, bruv. There's nothing worse than your past self telling your present self you messing up. And that's what tends to happen when you write things down. You get that guilty feeling of, I did write this, and it's you telling you, no one else telling you, not your girlfriend, not your wife, not your boyfriend, husband, whatever, not your mom, dad. It's just you telling you. So you definitely need that duration ending, that duration start. Okay, in the first part, you've written all about where you are and kind of what you want to do, and you probably wrote what your goal is in that area. But in this part, after you've finished thinking about how long it's going to take you to do the said goal, now you're just going to write one line, just one solid line of exactly what your goal is, exactly what the outcome is going to be, or you want it to be after you've finished. So for example, I decided I wanted to start a YouTube page. I'd been thinking about it for maybe a couple of years, but I never wrote a plan, therefore it never happened, therefore procrastination, blah 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 blah. But we're here now because I did write a plan, and here we are. And my specific goal for this 6 months is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now that we're actually on that point, if you've not hit the subscribe button, please hit it now. If you're liking what you see, hit that like button and hit that notification bell. See what I did there? That was just my example of showing you I do have a specific aim for what I'm doing. It's very clear, it's very precise. And the reason why you do that is that when you come back to reading this, which you will, you won't have to go through your mini story at the top. You'll just know what you're supposed to do. What the story does for you at the top is remind you of why you said you was going to do that, and remind you of the feelings you had at the time which made you come up with the plan. But that one bullet point is a solid reminder. If you're ever falling off track, you know what you're supposed to be doing. So make sure your aim is very, very clear. Your specific aim is very clear. Now, this next part is what I really like, because although you've got your huge goal, you've got your solid aim, you need some mini milestones to be able to say that you can do this skill. So underneath here, I like to write my measures. So this is how I say, if I can do these things, then I have achieved this aim. So it's my measurements. It's how I measure being able to do this goal. I use my Chinese, for example. My list for my Chinese, in fact, my aim for my Chinese is to get to a comfortable speaking level. Now that's different for everybody. My friends who speak Chinese speak beautiful Chinese, and they would still say that they're not at a comfortable level. If you heard them, my gosh. But anyway, getting back to my point, everyone's got a different aim of everyone's got a different view of what that seems like to them. So for me, I had to write down what that looks like to me and what I should be able to do at that level to say I've met that aim. So what I wrote underneath is, I should be able to have a conversation in terms of buying food. Ask for directions, go here, there, and everywhere. I'm able to listen to a Chinese TV show at least for 10 minutes, have full comprehension of what is being said in that TV show. So these just few of my milestones I want to hit in order to say I can speak comfortable Chinese. In all honesty, I'm not there yet, hence why I'm still on the plan. But that's just an example of setting your measurements. So whether you're trying to become a coder, whether you've decided you want to travel the world, whatever it is that you need to do, set the milestones underneath there, because that becomes your foundation for you getting to wherever it is you want to get to. So write down those milestones, make them very clear to yourself. What can you see yourself doing when you hit that aim? Make them your milestones. They're your measurements. Measurements and milestones. Either way, both work. I don't know, you choose one. Now that you've wrote that list, so you've got your list of things, the things you're going to be able to do to say that you've now achieved your aim, but you're going to need to know what you intend to do to acquire those new skills to be able to say you've hit that grand aim. So under this next part is your areas of focused learning. You want to do a list of the things you're going to do in order to achieve that goal. Now, it's fair to say that if you're just deciding to make this plan, it's not going to be fully clear of what tools are available to you at that time in order to complete the milestones that you have set. So in this area, you're probably going to do a bit of research before you fill in this area. Find out the things that you need to get better at in order to achieve those milestones, which will achieve those aims. Write them down, again in bullet point form, with a little explanation as to why you need to learn these skills and why this will add to your skill set. So in this area, you do want to have a lot of detail, but also bullet point areas, so you never get confused as to what it is you're learning and why you're learning it. For me, as I am a Chinese learner, as you know, I focused on textbooks. Which textbooks do I need? Which methods do I need to be focusing on? Am I going to sign on to an online course? Am I going to go to a class? All of these areas you'll look at. And I know this plan seems very detailed, but it needs to be, because it makes the long drive that you're going to go on so much easier. Whenever you're thinking, where am I supposed to be? What was I doing? You've wrote it already. What am I supposed to be learning? You've wrote it already. You've already assessed this area at the start. I always say, if you do the brunt work at the start, then it's clear sailing. Well, smoother sailing going forward, because you've already got your foundation set. A good foundation is a good foundation. I don't need to go into that much detail. Think about the materials you need to use. Think about how you want to study. Think about whether you're doing it online, going to a class, whichever way that you're thinking is best to hit those milestones. Write them all down so you've got them there in front of you, so you don't need to do any more research when you're actively starting this aim. Now, this next step is more of a tip than a must, but I always use it. You may or may not want to use it depending on what your goal or aim is. But this next step is about making your own assignments. I believe most people work hardest when they've been given something to do and they've got a time limit on it. Example, university. So when you've been given those university papers and they say you've got to do this, this, and this, you look at it and you think, okay, let's get this work done. But this isn't just for people who have been to university. This is anything. This is when you've been into work and the manager's given you a task to do. That's an assignment. When you, I don't know, you're married, then I have no idea. Okay, everybody does assignments. So basically, giving yourself an assignment for what you need to do just makes it easier for what you're learning. For example, I need to focus on parts of my Chinese learning. Maybe I need to focus on my speaking. Maybe I need to improve this speaking area. The assignment that I built for that, which focuses a bit more on speaking, is first to write myself my own introduction, which is over 700 characters. Be able to recite it without reading, then record myself live on the internet saying it out loud within a certain time frame. I've given myself this assignment because this assignment connects to the skills I'm trying to improve. So this will improve my speaking skill, because in part of my plan I have wrote, I want to be able to speak to a comfortable level. So therefore the assignment is making me focus on both reading and speaking. So this is a mini assignment I've given myself. It takes a while to build, it takes a while to complete, but once I've completed it and put all of that work in, I've generally learned some new skills. I normally give myself 5 to 6 assignments. That doesn't mean that I do each assignment like on a monthly scale. Sometimes I mix them around. I'll do a bit of one, and then if one seems more important than the other, then I'll do the other one. How you can gauge importance in terms of when you've made your assignments is completely up to where you are with learning that skill. If something else pops up where you need to focus on a different aspect, then of course you're going to focus on a different assignment which is closer to getting your skills up in that area. Going back to my point of assignments just help us get stuff done. It gives us a sense of urgency. So if you give yourself an assignment which is filled with little wonderful rewards of learning something from each of these milestones that you've set, you feel a lot better. And these are mini goals. Once you complete them, you get that mini goodness of, I'm a little bit closer to getting to my aim. These things really do help. They always say little rewards will keep you going. Pointless just going on a hard path and not being rewarded in any way, shape, or form. But by doing these assignments, you're constantly completing something which makes you feel you're making forward steps, therefore keeps you more focused on achieving the set goal or set aim that you set yourself. That's how it works for me. The assignments can be whatever you want them to be, as long as it gets you to where you want to go, which is A to yay. But like I said, this is more of a tip than a must. They really do help. It depends what you are studying or what your aim and goal is. So moving on to the next step, reviewing. Reviewing your goals plan is essential. Just because you set a 6-month goal doesn't mean you just, okay, I've set my goal, put it in the drawer and never look at it again. No, that's not what you do. You review your goal every month. Admittedly, maybe I won't do it every month. I'll do it every other month. I'll never go 2 months in a row where I've not reviewed. I always review mid-year as well. So I do a mid-year review and then never miss an end of the review. So I always do on the 6 months review. Now, why to review? This is the part I was going back to at the beginning. When you've written down at the beginning the reasons why you're doing it, when you start doing reviews, you get to see where your mindset was then and where your mindset is now, and see if they align. See if you're still on the same track. See if you've come off the track a little bit, and make notes of that, because it's a nice reminder to reread your plan and make a review on it. How am I doing? Is this too difficult? Is this too easy? Do I need to do something else? Do I need to implement some new methods? You check yourself. It's like going to see your, I don't know, your course advisor when you're in university to see how you're doing. You are checking yourself with your past self, which is perfect. I like to do this, like I said, every month or every other month, because checking it with myself just keeps me aligned. I call it that following the yellow brick road sequence. You built the road and you're just trying to make sure that you stay on it. Make those reviews, make them as clear as possible. Don't spend all day on them. You can literally do a couple of line review. So underneath where it says, where am I now, which you would have written, you can just write underneath that. Also, try and keep a daily diary of just little things you've done on a daily basis. Keep it short and sweet, literally a couple of lines. I did this today, I did that today. Write down how you was feeling about what you did today. Give yourself some cheers notes. If you feel you've done well today, you write down that you've done well today. I have done well today. I did this amount of work and I feel good. Damn it. It's really funny. After 6 months, when I read my mini diaries of what I was thinking, it's funny to see. Like, I've had some bad days and I write them down. Today was not a good day. This is not Ice Cube day. Literally, I've had those days. You write it down, you can reflect on it, and you can learn more from it. One thing you will learn in doing reviews, you tend to see a common pattern of how you work. And with that, you can build on that. One of my common patterns, I've been doing this for a few years now, doing different building plans for different things, and they've all worked really well for me. But one of the common demeanors, which was in my review, was took on too much work. Maybe I took on too much work. Maybe I took on too much work. There seems to be a common demeanor here. There's a pattern which I can now fix. I have it in my mind all the time. You have a tendency to take on too much work. Just double check. That's like on my whiteboard now. It's one of my things which I do, which I'm now correcting because I can see the pattern because I did my reviews. So do your reviews and be as honest as possible. Get it written, do your reviews, because once you've done your review, you can base your next goals plan on that review. You now have a benchmark of how you can move forward. My last and final step or tip is just try and be as consistent as possible. Keep reviewing, keep that consistency up. And I'm not just going to say keep that consistency up. There's ways that you can do that. Having a morning routine is a really good way. Using the Pomodoro technique when you're studying so you don't get burnout. If you don't know what the Pomodoro technique is, give me a comment below and I'll do a brief video on it. But if you just type it in the search engine on YouTube, I guarantee there's 1,000,001 YouTubers who have already covered it. Another thing is, like I said, don't try and do all your assignments at one time because you'll just be met with burnout. Choose your most important assignments to do and take it from there. Remember, they're your assignments. There's no teacher looking over your shoulder. If something isn't working, or if part of your plan that you've set, which you've realized isn't working, bin it. It's okay. If you're gonna improve on it, bin it and move to the next thing. I call it the art of being able to just say, no, this isn't working. Let's change it. You can come up with a brand new method. So with that being said, I hope you've liked this video. I hope you've clicked that like button and that subscribe button. I want to keep these videos coming as often as possible. I'm new to it, so I'm still learning, but hopefully you've clicked that like, you've clicked that subscribe, you've hit that notification bell wherever it is. I don't know where it is from pointing here, but hope you've liked the video. Ciao for now. Thanks guys for watching.